Good day doodlers, welcome to Draw Cartoons. Today we're going to be looking at how to draw Sobble, the newly announced water type starter Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Make sure you watch the whole video or you might miss a useful trick. You're going to need a pencil, paper, an eraser and a Sharpie to go over your sketch with. Let's go! Let's get started. But first, if you want to learn to draw the fast and easy way, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. Let's begin! So as always, we're going to start with the head, and rather than drawing a perfect circle, what we're going to do in this drawing with your pencil, make sure you're doing this with your pencil, we're going to draw a circle, but it's going to look like the bottom sides, the left and the right side of our circle, have had the edges pulled out a little bit. So our shape ends up a bit thicker at the bottom than it is at the top. So hopefully you can kind of get that in my drawing. This part of the circle is a bit thinner than this part of the circle. Once you've got that shape down, we can just kind of quickly sketch in the shape of the body. Sobble's belly is a lot smaller than the head, so just draw, again not quite a circle, just almost like an egg shape. So this shape is balancing on top of an egg down here, sitting just below the head and a bit to the right. Once you've drawn that, we can begin drawing the curve of the tail. So we'll just draw a spiral that comes up around here, goes a bit behind the head, we'll come back out about here, and we'll just meet up more or less here where the rest of the curl is. And once you've drawn that in, we can draw another loop just over this one. This is the outside edge of the tail now, and we can draw that to meet up with the bottom part of the body. So straight away we can see we've got this head shape, this small body, and this spiraling kind of tail shape. Now let's draw the little fin on the top. So coming right from the very center of the head, we'll curve up and then come back down, and then there's one little piece coming out like this, and we end up with a sort of oven mitt shape. So it's like a thumb and a hand here, and then on this side there's just a little bit here just at the front of the fin. Okay, so let's draw the rest of the body. We've got two legs to draw. So there's one leg that starts here. So just draw a line that curves up quite sharply and then comes straight back down. Once you've done that, draw a small bump on the left side and then a much longer one on the right side. And there we have one of his feet. And then we can just kind of follow the shape that we drew for the inner leg back to the torso. Now for the other leg. So we'll just draw a curve that comes away from here, comes down rather sharply just like the other leg, and make sure you try and get them level like this. If it helps, you can draw a line from one to the other, but we want the feet to be more or less on the same level here. So once you've got that down, draw a small bump at the back and then a much longer one at the front. And try and get those feet rather even in shape as well. You don't want one foot too much bigger than the other. And now just curve a line back in for the rest of the leg. Now there's going to be a fair bit of overlapping because we are just sketching, but don't worry, we'll get rid of any overlapping lines when we go over it with a Sharpie. So I'm going to draw the nearer arm here. The arm starts about here, and this is the inner arm. Now I'm going to draw a line that slightly curves towards the bottom of the body. There's a big kind of thumb shape here, and it curves straight into the rest of the hand. With it being a chameleon, I suppose it's not really a hand as such, is it? But I'm going to call it that just for the sake of simplicity. And then just follow that line back towards the shoulder, just like that. Now the other arm is going to sit right here. This is where the hand's going to be. It's going to sit right in front of that other leg. So we'll start with the upper arm, which starts about here where the head joins with the shoulder. We'll curve a line down, and then just like the feet, we'll draw a longer bump for the front of the hand and a smaller one for the back of the hand, almost like a thumb. And then I'm just going to draw a line back to where the underarm is connecting with the body. So you can see there's a bit of ugly overlap here, but that's okay. Like I said, you'll just go over the lines that you want to keep with your Sharpie very soon. Now we're going to draw the face last. So the face can be a little bit tricky, but just follow my steps and you'll get it perfect. So we want a really tall oval on this side of the face, nice and tall. So not too wide, but pretty long from top to bottom. And once you've drawn that, we're going to draw another one that's on the sort of left side of the oval that we just drew, just inside like that. and then one more smaller one inside. So we get this kind of Russian doll kind of effect with ovals inside ovals inside ovals. So that's one of the eyes, and once you've drawn that, we can just draw one of the cheeks here. It sits just under the eye, almost like the eye is kind of sitting on top of it, and it's just a basic circular shape sitting right there. Now for the other eye, so the other eye is going to be, if I just draw a dotted line across here to show you, it's going to be about here. Okay, so you want to try and get them level. You can draw in that dotted line right now if you like, if it helps you to estimate where the middle of the eye is going to be. I'm just going to go straight forward. So again, a tall oval. This one's actually going to be even thinner than the oval that we drew on the right side of the head because of the perspective. We're actually going to see a little bit less of this eye than we can see of this eye because Sobble's head is turned to face this way a little bit. So once you've drawn that oval, again, we're going to draw another smaller, yet still very tall oval inside, and then one more really small one just inside that. Again, we have to draw a cheek on this side. There we go. Now between the eyes, there's just a pair of very small nostrils, and then there's a small spiking pattern bridging the eyes in the middle like this. It just kind of curves up into a spike right here, and then curves across to meet with the other eye just there. Now the last thing to draw is the mouth and just a little bit more of the patterns. So we'll start with the mouth. The mouth is kind of a funny, I guess, bean shape. You can really draw it as wide as you like because we've seen art of Sobble smiling like this, a really, really wide mouth, or maybe a very unhappy mouth. It's a very big mouth, but in this picture of Sobble, I'm going to draw the mouth kind of open. So we're going to draw almost like a bean, or I guess a shoe shape. It kind of goes across here, goes underneath the nostrils, almost to the other side of the face, and then comes back. It's quite a difficult shape that. It's very easy to over-exaggerate one of the corners, but try and get those smooth curves as you go around each side of the face. And then there's just the tongue sitting inside, just like that. Now on the bottom half of each side of the face, sorry, just here, under each cheek, I'm going to draw a line that goes down, just like that. It just curves and goes under the head, like that. And now one more bit of the pattern to draw in. We've got a spot on the belly, just like this, right in the center of the belly, and then make sure that kind of curves up for where the neck is. And there we go, simple as that. So our sketch of Sobble is done. So I'm going to get my my pen out, I'm going to go over the lines that I want to keep. You should do the same, and we should end up with a perfect, refined drawing of Sobble. Make sure you only go over the lines that you want to keep with your Sharpie. This is a great time to correct any last mistakes you spot as you go over it and fix them. And there you go, one sneaky Sobble. Here's a question before you go. Most starter Pokemon end up as a dual type when they're fully evolved. What do you think Sobble's secondary type will be? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a tutorial. Bye for now.